All right, I want to talk about the default objects in Attio. I'm only going to look at three. So just in general, an object, I think it's easiest to think of that as a table, like a spreadsheet, rows and columns, looks something like this right here. So there's people, companies, and deals. There's different ways to view them, but I just want to talk about those three. People, this is maybe my favorite object because nonprofits care about people. Relationships are very important. So here, let me just show you like a couple things about people that are interesting. This is all fake data. So a couple things I like. I think this overview is very nifty. I think when it automatically pulls in your emails, I think that's helpful. The email address is the most important thing. So if you're using Typeform to pull in forms or data from that, always ask for an email address. If you've got a spreadsheet with people, always get the email address because that's how you dedupe. Those are perfectly unique, and that's how you keep things organized and don't get duplicate entries in your database. There are scenarios where Priya might have person@gmail.com. And that's okay if a person has two email addresses. In fact, it's pretty common. And that's one of the main ways that duplicates happen is there's two email addresses. Just add two emails to one profile, and that's how you can dedupe on that. So this is pretty standard. There's like the columns that you would have in the object. You can add things, subtract things, whatever you want. You can send emails to Priya from this interface. That's not something I normally use. I normally just prefer to use Google, but those emails, if I send them from Google, they would show up here once I have that integrated. I think that's generally it with people. Pretty simple. The main thing to know is get the email address. Let's say you want to like customize this page. You can configure the page right here, and you can say, oh, I don't want this here. I want emails right there. I want notes right here. I don't want objectives, so I can remove that tab and etc. So you can decide with that. You can also add widgets if you want. You can also control what are the details you want like above the fold right here. All right, that really covers it probably for people. So then let's talk about companies. So people belong to companies. Companies can have more than one people. So let's do, I want to get something fake here. I think that looks fake. Okay. This should be all fake data, but I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, this looks like fake data. Okay. So Next Horizon Network, we've got a few details here. The most important thing, so just like people have an email, and that's what makes them unique, companies have a website, and that's what makes them unique. And it actually is really incredible because every website by design, just like every email, has to be unique. So if every company has one, you can dedupe them that way. So same thing, if you're doing forms with companies, company names, those are a dime a dozen, but their domains are always distinct. So if you have a form on the internet using Typeform and you're collecting companies, ask for their website. In fact, uh, if you had to choose between them, only ask for the website because Attio will automatically enrich this name by scraping the website, pulling the name down, and actually populate it for you. So email is more important than anything, and website is more important than anything. But let's say you need some other details. In fact, sometimes I think they fill in this description for you. That's kind of nifty what Attio does. Tons of fields right here. One note, I wish Attio would let me delete some of these. They don't. It's kind of a bummer, but they let me hide them at least. Same thing. This is a page. You can control it by saying, I want to configure the page, change what shows up here, what do I want to highlight, etc. The cool thing too with emails, anyone from the team, so Ariel, Amber, Kevin, Ryan, Julie, any emails to the team are going to show up in this feed right here. So if you're collaborating with lots of people, that can be really helpful. Something about interactions. Most CRMs have something called an interaction where we send a text, we send an email, we send a DM, what have you. Attio doesn't have that. I don't fully understand that design choice. They, I think, want us to use notes instead. So instead of tracking an interaction, you would just track a note. They're very simple and it works just about as well. But that's just one note if you've used other CRMs before. Um, yeah, so you could even compose an email to all 5 people. That's pretty nifty. Let's say you want to, what do I want to do? I want to edit this object. So let's do manage attributes. Let's say I need a new field, or if you're thinking in spreadsheets, a new column. We would create an attribute, and let's say we want to do tags. So a tag would be a multi-select, and we'll call this tags, and we'll say option 1, option 2. Okay. So multi-select means I can select one or both, any of them. So I'll do that. And then let's go back out here. So you could also do, there's more stuff here. You could read the Attio docs for that. I won't get into that. Let's go back to companies. And let's say I want to add a column to this view right here. And we're going to add tags. And let's say this is option 1. This is option 1 and 2, etc. Great. Love it. This is all companies, but let's say that you say, I actually only want to know companies with option 1, and I look at that once a week. So I'm going to create a new view called option 1 companies. Perfect. I'm going to add a filter. I'm going to look up tags, contains option 1. Done. I'm going to save for everyone. Very important. Don't forget that detail, otherwise you'll never see this again. Save for everyone, and then now I can always, here's companies, this is my default, but if I want to just see option 1 companies, done. All right, last one, I'm going to talk about deals. All right, so we have a little bit different view here. There's 2 ways to look at deals. There's a table view, and there's a Kanban view. Let me go ahead and create a new deal. Deal 1, stage is lead, owner is me, value is $1 million. I don't know if that's the right number of zeros. And we're going to say the person that I'm collaborating on this deal with, I'm getting Anthony Alvarez. Oh yeah, 10 million. Anthony Alvarez is going to donate $10 million to my nonprofit, and I won't worry about the company for right now. Okay. All right, so this is a lead. Now, there's 2 ways to view it, a Kanban and a table. Tables are kind of nice if you like spreadsheets and you have a whole lot to look at. Kanbans are nice if you're trying to move things through stages. I love stages. I think that's maybe my favorite thing about Attio is stages. And I think if you're planning a volunteer journey, a donor journey, a board journey, I think it's really important if you're recruiting or if you have a funnel of any type, set up stages. I think that is really important. And the thing that's just nifty about it is you could say, let's add calculations. We'll do a sum, deal value. Great. So we have 10 million in the lead, and now we're meeting. So now it's in progress. So this recalculates, and now they said we're doing it. Great. I think this is a really helpful way to view it. If you could imagine 5 or 10 deals at a time, I think that'd be really helpful. But you could do the same stages with people. So like if I went to people, let's go ahead and create an attribute. And we're going to call this, they call it status. So we'll call it volunteer stages. And the way I would do that is identified, they're a good idea, applied, they said they want to, active, we said they're good, dormant, they flaked out, or inactive. We don't need that. We'll just say dormant. Well, too late. It's already there. All right, so we're going to say create attributes. So now I have stages for these people, right? Okay, so I'm going to say, let's do create a new view, volunteer journey, and we're going to say volunteer stages. And I want to say these people are identified. Sorry, that's not how to do it. Unselect, not all. All right, so I'm going to say copy, and this is really cool. This is like spreadsheet behavior. So what I'm about to do is I'm going to push Command V on my Mac. Voila, I love that. Love it. So now I'm going to say Julia is active, and we'll do this. Perfect. Okay, now this is the volunteer journey, but I saved it as a table. Oh, shoot. So we're going to say filter volunteer stages is not empty. Okay, so these are all volunteers, but I'll say for everyone. But I want this as a table. Can I duplicate this? Let me just see if we can duplicate. No, that's not what I want. All right, so we're going to create a new view called volunteer journey number 3, but we're going to make it a Kanban. Look at this cool feature right here. What status do we want to use to move them through those stages? We're going to say volunteer stages, and it's transformed into this new thing, but we got to filter. Stages is not empty. Perfect. And we're going to save for everyone. I want to get rid of that no stage. I'll figure that out later. Just scroll over for night. So we've got all of them here. We can say Julie is dormant. This is just an easy way to view volunteers all at once. All right, so what I've done is I've talked about people, companies, deals, and showed you a little bit of functionality about how to use Attio in table views, in Kanban views, updating your attributes, what have you. I hope this is helpful.